The first deal. You meet him in a parking garage in Seoul. Third floor, northeast corner, 2 a.m. He's wearing a gray suit, sweating, nervous. You pull the memory chip from your jacket pocket. It's the size of a thumbnail, cold, metallic. "This is it?" he asks. You nod. Her wedding day, June 2019, 4 hours, crystal clear. He transfers the money, $7,000. You hand over the chip. He disappears into the shadows. You just sold your first memory. Understanding the product. You learn fast. Memories aren't just data, they're experience, emotion, sensation. Happy memories sell for premium prices. Happy kiss, perfect vacation, the moment someone said, "I love you." People pay to feel what they never had, or to feel it again. You acquire memories from donors, people who need money more than they need their past. A college student sells you his graduation day for $3,000. A widow sells you her honeymoon for $8. You extract them using a neural port, 20 minutes per memory. They sign contracts, legal gray area, barely. You store them on encrypted drives in your apartment. Your inventory is growing. Building the client list. You have 15 regular buyers now. A CEO who buys childhood memories. He works 90-hour weeks, never had a childhood of his own. A woman who lost her daughter. She buys memories of other people's children, just to feel it again. A tech millionaire who collects extreme experiences, skydiving, base jumping, near-death moments. You meet them in hotel lobbies, coffee shops, private offices. The money flows steady. You're making $40,000 a month. You quit your day job. Your apartment fills with extraction equipment, neural ports, memory drives, encryption keys. This is your life now. The dark inventory. A client approaches you with a special request. "I need something different," he says. He wants memories of violence, revenge, power. You hesitate, but he's offering $20,000 for a single memory. You find a donor, ex-military, seen combat, needs the money. You extract the memory of a firefight, the fear, the adrenaline, the kill. Your client takes it without blinking. You just crossed a line. More requests come in. Memories of crime, betrayal, forbidden experiences. The money gets bigger. Your moral compass starts spinning. The upgrade. You move to a penthouse in Shibuya, floor-to-ceiling windows, city lights below. You're making 6 figures a month now. You wear expensive clothes, drive a Tesla, eat at restaurants you can't pronounce. But you notice things. Black cars following you sometimes, unknown numbers calling and hanging up. A message on your encrypted phone. "We know what you're doing." You upgrade your security. Biometric locks, VPN routing, burner phones. You hire a hacker to scrub your digital footprint. The paranoia is starting, but the money's too good to stop. The VIP client. You get a meeting request from someone powerful. No name, just coordinates and a time. Private estate, guarded gates, men in suits with earpieces. You're escorted to a study. He's sitting behind a mahogany desk. Politician. You recognize him from the news. "I need insurance," he says. He wants you to extract a memory from someone without their consent. His political rival, a business partner, someone with secrets. He's offering $500,000. This isn't gray area anymore. This is illegal. You do it anyway. You spike the target's drink at a gala, neural port disguised as a pen. 30 seconds of contact, memory extracted, corporate espionage, blackmail material, leverage. You deliver it in a titanium case. The money hits your account. You just became a weapon. The network. You're not alone anymore. You meet other dealers, underground network, encrypted forums. They trade rare memories like vintage wine, last moments before death, first moments of consciousness, memories from people who don't exist anymore. You learn about the hunters, corporate security teams, government agencies, people who want this technology controlled. 3 dealers disappeared last month. 1 turned up in a river. You sleep with a gun under your pillow. You change locations every week. You trust no one. Your contacts communicate through dead drops and proxy servers. The money keeps coming, but you're not living anymore. You're surviving. The mistake. You accept a job you shouldn't have. A memory extraction from a minor, teenage girl, wealthy family. The client wants her memory of a trauma for blackmail. You know it's wrong, but it's $1 million. You do the extraction in a hotel room, quick, clean. 48 hours later, your door gets kicked in. Not police, private military contractors. The girl's father owns a security corporation. They drag you to a warehouse in Incheon. They beat you for 3 hours. Who hired you? They keep asking. You give them nothing. They take your equipment, your drives, your entire inventory. $20 million in memories, gone. They let you live. Barely. You wake up in an alley with broken ribs and a warning. You're done. Disappear, or you're dead. The rock bottom. You have nothing. No equipment, no inventory, no clients. Your accounts are frozen. Your apartment's been seized. You're living in a capsule hotel in Busan. But you can't stop. You still have one asset, your own memories. You find a buyer, underground, desperate. You start selling pieces of yourself. Your first love, $5,000. Your father's funeral, $8,000. The day you graduated, $3,000. Each extraction leaves you emptier. You're hollowing yourself out for survival. You look in the mirror and don't recognize yourself, not because you've changed, but because you don't remember who you used to be. The final trade. You're down to your last valuable memory, the one you swore you'd never sell. The memory of your mother's voice, the last time she said she loved you. A collector offers you $50,000 for it. You sit in the extraction chair, neural port against your temple. You think about everything that led here, the money, the power, the choices. You could walk away, start over, but you've been selling pieces of yourself for so long, you don't know what's left. The extraction begins. 20 minutes later, it's over. You take the money. You try to remember her voice. You can't. It's gone. You walk out into the neon streets of Seoul, anonymous, empty, free. You see a young kid on a street corner, nervous, waiting. Someone approaches him, hands him something small. You recognize the transaction. The cycle continues. You keep walking. In this world, everyone's selling something. You just sold the only thing that made you human. And somewhere in the city, someone's buying their first memory. The market never stops.